third guest of the evening, and this is going to be, let's see, let's see, go to the other screen. Aha, here he is. I'm going to send this out to our friend Hazen Cuyler of the Greenhouse Ensemble. Hazen,
Hello.
how you doing there, sir?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So you guys, I just became aware of you guys not too long ago. You guys are the Greenhouse Ensemble, and you just wrapped up, I think, just yesterday,
Yes,
uh,
yes.
just yes, a production of Twelfth Night that you were touring around green spaces in New York City. Is that right?
Right. We were in two different locations. We were in Central Park at Summit Rock, which
Mm-hmm.
is at 83rd and Central Park West, and then we were also at the West Side Community Garden. So all of it was on the Upper West Side, but we were bouncing between those two different spaces.
Okay. All right. So Hazen, tell me about the Greenhouse Ensemble is new for me. How long have you guys been around?
Well, we've been around since it was started in 2013.
Okay.
And we primarily worked on the Upper West Side. And the reason why it was started, I was acting at the time. I was right out of college, and throughout my whole life, I had always been used to going from one project to the next project to the next project. And then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, I came back from a job, and then I had nothing in front of me, and so I started to panic. And so I
Right.
decided that I wanted to create my own work, and I was studying at the time with Austin Pendleton, Alexi Barago, and some of the joint philosophies that I really appreciated from their work and their artistry came from these ideas of supporting one another as much as you can and trying to create an ensemble that uplifts everyone, so that it's something that there isn't necessarily like a lead actor necessarily, but
Mm-hmm.
an ensemble where anyone can do any part. And on top of that, I've always had an interest in fine arts. My father's a filmmaker as well, so I've kind of we're a multidisciplinary company.
Okay. All
So on
right.
the west side, a lot of the work that we do and that we've always done have been sort of art immersive events. And this is Twelfth Night is our second Shakespeare show. Uh,
Okay. So previous to this, you were doing different kind of works, not necessarily Shakespeare.
yeah, we were doing all sorts of stuff basically.
Hmm. So at what point from being an actor for the Greenhouse Ensemble in 2013 did it come that you became the producer and director of the company?
Well, I started the company, so someone had to
Oh,
run it.
okay. All right.
No, but and that's also how I started directing as well.
Hmm.
I sort of have been directing more or less on and off my whole life as I was acting as well, but the necessity just came because I wanted to create work and I needed a director, and I was it. So for a long period of time I was directing, and now I'm just kind of beginning to get back into finding avenues for me to act as well, and this was one of those.
So you were directing and acting in this particular production.
Yes, I directed Twelfth Night, and I was also Sir Toby Belch.
Oh, what,
Yes.
what, and this is something that we've been talking to people about in the outdoor Shakespeare discussion and other discussions we've been having is that depending on who you ask, either the audiences are pouring out because they've been so cooped up for so long in the COVID era, and they want any chance for interaction with live performance, or in some cases they say no, the audiences are still very timid and still very reluctant to come out. What was your experience like?
I think that I mean our first night I suppose was a bit light, but after that we had I think probably more audience members than we've ever had in a show. And I think part of it is, yeah, I think that people are cooped up and wanting to come back to theater, and outdoor theater presents such a safe avenue for that to happen.
Right,
Uh, but I think also, I mean, one, Twelfth Night is like a favorite of everybody's. But
right.
I think what we were trying to do was we were hoping to create a kind of almost a little bit of a love letter to theater and to theater audiences, so that people could come back and we could all welcome theater back together. And so I think that that's part of the reason why at least why we had a lot of good audience turnout.
Okay, so you transitioned from doing the other artistic expression you were doing into Shakespeare. When you go from the stuff that you were doing before into Shakespeare, do you have to change the way you're reaching out
No.
to your audience for them to follow suit?
Oh, no, no,
So the
no.
audience has been riding with you.
Yeah. You mean in terms of reaching out to different audiences because what
Hmm.
we might be doing like contemporary work and then we start doing no.
No.
I don't think so. I don't think we did anything differently. And part of that could be because our audiences who are coming to see our work are used to seeing things like an art installation or a 10-minute play festival or a film festival or a theater production or so I think that there and we work within the same kind of communities on the Upper West Side. So I think it allows for a little bit of flexibility, I think.
But that's a testament to what a great connection you and your company have been making with the audience, that they're following you from one artistic form of expression to another. And that's not something that always happens with a company. I've seen many companies over the years where, until a certain amount of time they're a classical company, then they say, you know what, we're going to change suit and we're going to become a contemporary company, or vice versa. And once they do that, it's like a jolt, and the audience kind of loses faith and they don't follow. So the fact that your audience is ingrained enough or enmeshed enough in the work that you're doing and so happy with what you're presenting to them that they're following suit and only growing instead of shrinking, that's a great testament to the quality of work that you're doing out there.
Yeah, I think when I started the company, one of my main focuses for kind of developing what we were actually going to produce was making sure that we weren't limiting ourselves to anything. It started at the Abingdon Theater initially,
Hmm.
and or the idea started at the Abingdon Theater, and I loved the Abingdon Theater. I loved all of the artists there. It was an amazing place when I was kind of doing stuff there.
Hmm.
But the only issue that I had with the kind of work that I wanted to create was their mission was about creating new American plays
Right.
by American playwrights. And so for instance, at the time, I knew an amazing Chinese playwright, and I would not be able to work with him if I had something that limited me in that capacity. So I
Right.
tried to make it as kind of open as possible, and also for a lot of different disciplines for musicians and artists. And
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So now you just had a run of Twelfth Night. You guys had big audiences, and you were playing to, I'm sure, maxing out the capacity of the spaces that you were in. So what's any idea of what comes next, or are you just the dust is still settling from the production that just came and went?
well, I mean, this is the day after, so this is the peak of the mourning period. I feel, but, but I think that we have a lot of stuff coming up right now. We have a workshop production of a play that's been in development for a little bit by a really amazing artist who's a part of our company named Joey Rotter. It's his play called Superheroes, and it takes place. I don't know how much I should be saying about that. Everyone, but it's fine. So it's two writers who sit in a cafe basically, and they say that they want to create the next big superhero movie, and then all of a sudden it starts coming to life as they brainstorm it in front of their eyes. But the idea, the core, I think, is, and granted, this may change. Once I start working on it, it's a workshop. But the idea is about what our attraction is to cliche and excess, I
Hmm.
think. But the play itself is a big spectacle. So it's interesting. I guess I think after once we were about to close Twelfth Night, I was thinking, well, I want to do something completely different in a completely different realm. I mean, superheroes certainly is, but it's another very, very fun play.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. It's a great concept, and I can't wait to see what's coming up from you guys. It seems like you guys are headed in the right direction, and it seems like you're only going to be growing. So I look forward to big things from you guys.
No, thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure chatting with you, Hazen, and I wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on 12th Night. I'm sure we'll be in communication again in the near future.
Yes, I hope so. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye.
Okay, so that was Hazen Cuyler of the Greenhouse Ensemble. They just wrapped up their production of 12th Night on the Upper